I'm going to show a quick little video of how I port this throttle body. This one here is a Chevy throttle body from a 5.3 Vortec truck, and I'm going to cut this video into short pieces. I've already cleaned the throttle body, so it's a little easier to see in here. What I'm going to do is, you see how this throttle body has all this material in here, an edge right here, so it's basically trying to force all that air into the blade right here, catching air. It's not real smooth. So what I'm going to do with this throttle body is port it out. I'm going to open it up. Instead of having a big edge right here where it steps into the throttle body, it'll be a more smooth transition, more of a flat edge, so it will work more like right now. You can see like here how it kind of sends it across that edge. I'm actually going to make it so it's just one smooth taper into the hole, more like a velocity stack, and I'll also work around this area right here to round out the edges so that it disrupts the airflow, or does not disrupt the airflow as much as it's doing right now. It's got everything right here. I'll just smooth these edges out, not so much take this one away as roll on the edges over. One of the things I'm very careful about is when this is shut, you don't want to affect any of them or damage any of the material around where the butterfly is at. So when it's closed, your throttle body is still actually closed, so that there's no air passage through there. So I'll clearly mark that, pull this butterfly out, and make sure I don't touch that area at all. So I'll actually start with a pretty aggressive bit right here, and I'll keep pulling material out till I get it out. I'll work some more edges with this guy right here. And when I get done, I don't actually pull the stem out, but I'll work right up to the edges with this guy right here. That way I can get as close as I can. And for rounding out some edges along this guy here, I'll probably use this guy here to run down the edge. And then when I get towards the end of it, to keep it small so it's not real large, I've also got a small one that works down in there. I'm sure if you're a do-it-yourself type of a person, you could do all this with a Dremel. It'd probably just take you much longer. The GM throttle body actually has a lot more material in it than a lot of other manufacturers. Like the Toyota throttle body doesn't have a lot in it. It's actually pretty, for a stock throttle body, actually pretty good. Just needs to be polished mostly. Another throttle body that actually carries a lot of material is the Mopar throttle bodies, but this one here is just the GM throttle body that I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie, close my butterfly valve, and I'll mark both sides of that real clear so that I'll work up to the Sharpie line, and I won't even touch that last little bit till later. And I'll come back in a minute and show you again once I get a little farther. Alright, I just wanted to show you how I made a Sharpie mark in here so that you can see where the butterfly was. That clear line right there, inside those two black lines are the spot I'm not going to touch, because that's where the butterfly sits when it's shut. Okay, so just to show you how I've come along here, I've used the burr bit to take out quite a lot of material all along in this area over here, so now you can see it's opened up. And I've also used my taper bit to clean up this part right here to be a little smoother to the edges, and I'll polish out with some barrel sanders later. But I've also used my round bits to kind of work the edges in here to kind of work that area right there. And then I've also used my flat piece here so I can have a nice smooth area around here going around the edge. So all the way into the intake now, you see it's right there to the, well, my lines come off when I just cleaned it a second ago with some brake cleaner, or carb cleaner rather. But you see how this is a straight line right to where the butterfly sits, rather than having a taper like I had before. Now it's straight in. And, so I need to take it out on the back side here, most of these edges right here, and then tapered all this right along in here, smooth it all out into the actual opening size of the intake, which when you follow this line around, you'd see it would come around here and had a step right there before. So that's actually corrected now. So now I just need to go to work with my barrel sanders, starting with the 40 to smooth out the really rough edges. And then I'll go to 60, 80, 120, and so on until I get it smooth and polished out the way I want it. And then I keep my older ones because these small ones will help for getting into some of these really smaller spots that I want to finish off. So there it is. Next step, putting it back together when it's finished. Alright, so I'm almost to the final polishing, so I've got still some rough edges in there to clean out right there, and you can see right along my marks in there where I have the butterfly that's going to close in there. I've got some edges I can work up to now to get them right there to the final stage, clean all that out. And I did something different on this one I haven't done on another one. To make this a smoother, even transition right here going straight in, I actually on this one here welded in some extra material on the back side, and I'll clean that up in a minute. Aluminum, kind of a pain in the ass to weld, but so I built it up real thick right there so that I could take out more meat in this area right here to make it perfectly flat and smooth right into there. Before it still had just like a little bit of a ridge, and I wanted to get rid of that, so now it's smooth straight in. So the next shot will be it assembled, and might even paint this one, who knows. Alright, so here it is, final product. It's all finished. I just painted it black, or not. But just a note, when you're putting your butterfly valve back in here before you tighten these screws, hold this shut to make sure that you're in the right position, then tighten both screws down. Go ahead and pull one screw out, put some blue Loctite on the threads, put it back in, and then the same thing with the other screw, just to make sure that they don't come out and they stay in there. But so there's the throttle body, and leave that area clean so that it sits up against the gasket without any leaks. And there you go, ported and polished GM 5.3 throttle body. This one here going on a extended cab Chevy pickup.